think the importance of what you're doing is that global dimension as well, learning from around the world, being open to learning from the world, and that's where we all grow together.
Bonjour, Stephen. How are you doing today?
Good day, Christophe. Lovely to see you.
It's a pleasure. So just very quickly, let's summarize, the hard work you produced in the last almost close to 2 years. You've been very busy at Fintech Scotland, I believe. Over 100 Fintech SMEs, give or take, 15 universities, 16 tech spaces, a Fintech festival, I believe, last month in September, a European Fintech Discovery Program announced a few days ago, and today, a successful first Fintech National Network Symposium. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's a real privilege, actually, Christophe, and it's really quite an exciting time, really, for fintech, both here in Scotland, the UK, and globally.
Well, you set up quite a high, you raised the bar already, so I wonder how 2020 will be then. But Fintech National Network, so today we had the first, I believe, symposium on the national level, which was very exciting, very well attended as well. Could you please give an overview of what the network is, how important it is, and what's next for it?
Whilst obviously here in Scotland our fintech cluster is hugely important, we also see the importance of collaboration with our neighbours in the north of England, in Wales, Northern Ireland, and in London, that we actually have the opportunity to come together, because by coming together we can share our learnings, our experiences about how we can help fintech enterprises to grow, to develop, to support their people. And actually it's by that coming together and learning is the best way. And the symposium really had that at its heart as an objective.
I know, and this morning a lot of people talked about it, the importance and the value of seeing each other in the real life as well, the real world, despite all the communication tools we have at our disposal. You said as well, I think recently, collaboration and inclusion are important part of a vibrant fintech ecosystem. I think you demonstrated today, you mentioned the regions, but we also had the likes of Innovate Finance and Fintech Alliance.
Yes, of course it's about the other fintech clusters around all of the parts of the UK and of course around Europe. But there's other organisations that play a clear role. Innovate Finance, Fintech Alliance are important enablers in ensuring that we're actually looking beyond the UK and beyond Scotland to other parts of the world. And also in terms of influencing the shape of innovation in the future. I'd like to see it as more of a team sport, a team game. And you perform so much better if you're part of a team rather than trying to do things on your own.
We agree it's more collaboration than competition as such.
Yes, it is. And also, of course, the important role of the regulator. We had the FCA here, we had the Bank of England here, the Competitions and Markets Authority, along with Scottish Enterprise, Scottish Government, and of course, Department of International Trade, all play an important part as part of that team. And actually, to try and do things without them involved makes it so much more difficult. So why not be inclusive?
I think you've done a great job, and for networking it was superb today, and it's good for me as well to catch up with familiar faces. And I believe that even Innovate Finance might next year consider doing something with the network, maybe for the summit, so in April or something. So that's exciting news.
Yeah, it is, yes. We've just been talking about the next meeting we have together. We're probably looking to have the next meeting in Wales, which is one of those emerging sort of fintech clusters. And very much here want to support Wales to develop. This is not about competing, about being better than one place against another. Geographically, we are neighbours, but also we share common values around innovation, collaboration, and inclusion. And when you share values, you're more likely to work together as a team, and that's the opportunity here.
And again, the idea is not to be against London, but to be able to establish the regions on the map and make people realize how much a great opportunity is in terms of talent, in terms of innovation, in terms of technology.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, London's obviously a global fintech centre and probably the most prominent, which is hugely important. But what's important as well is many enterprises, whilst they have they're based in London, they also grow in their businesses in places like Scotland. We've had a number of businesses that have expanded into Scotland. So it's actually not about a choice between London or Scotland. It's actually, you do both.
We mentioned actually large banks as well, the likes of Barclays and JP Morgan.
Yes, I mean, it is about the large financial institutions, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, Barclays, HSBC, them, but also as fast-growing fintechs have been moving to Scotland, as they are to, say, the north of England and to Wales. And I think that's an important part, actually. The opportunity is big enough. It should be shared around.
Exactly. You know that at Findexable we're very busy, hard at work building a global fintech index, and we believe there's a value for that. The idea is to provide a benchmark and to help cities, countries to basically compare themselves and identify the right opportunity or the lack of talent. So how important is it to have some kind of unbiased source of information, global ideally, again to dynamize the industry?
I think it is important about what the Global Fintech Index is seeking to do, because again it's about learning from what others, and as human beings, but also as a fintech cluster, there's always ways you can improve, and you improve by actually seeing how others are doing things slightly differently and maybe slightly better. I think what the index will do will provide a spotlight on all those different areas that actually think, why could we learn? Could we be better in that area and bring that back in? That's what I mean by collaboration as a form of sharing and learning experiences. And I think that's where I see a huge role really for the index to play.
Thank you, and that's the idea actually, and even giving the opportunity to cities, for instance, to be able to demonstrate success as well in terms of investment, in terms of growth, being able to track, the difference and the progress from 1 month to the other, or from 1 year to another. Of course, everything will be only possible if we build that collaboration, again, sorry to overuse that word, but you can't say it enough, with the likes of Fintech Scotland. So of course we're very keen to build great relationships, and of course hopefully you'll see the value of sharing with us information at the local level to make sure we've got the most exhaustive, unbiased and transparent database.
Yeah, of course, that's really important, really, and I think that's where you can play that important connecting role of understanding. We rightly are focused on developing the cluster here in Scotland, but we're so keen of wanting to learn from outside. We have that when fintech firms move into Scotland. We learn an enormous amount, really, and also in fintech firms going out from Scotland to other parts of the world. I think what you're providing is an index, a more sort of sustainable way in which we can measure and demonstrate that, not as a form of competition, not by sort of saying we're always the best, but actually just by that experience and insight, which would be so invaluable.
Thank you very much. Of course, for us, the ultimate goal is not just to have an index, but is to make a positive difference on very essential, critical, important topics. And we're talking financial inclusion, we're talking talent, and of course diversity. And I'm glad we talked about it this morning a bit. We had a great panel, basically the last panel. So what's your vision on those very important topics, and how can we collectively push the envelope towards a more fair, just and more dynamic and ambitious economy or industry?
I think what sits at the heart for us about fintech is an economic and social movement. And that social dimension about inclusive, this is more about fin and tech. It's about involving all parts of our communities, people from all backgrounds, all genders, all sort of ethnicities, all communities, to shape really the way that the financial world can be reinvented for better human outcomes. And therefore inclusion and diversity sits at the heart of that. One, because it drives economic outcomes, better creativity and innovation, but two, socially, it's just so much better that we come together as a diverse communities, inclusive communities, to do things together rather than in isolation. So yeah, we're a movement, and it's just quite a thrilling time to be part of something very special at the moment.
I love that, a movement, you're right. Congratulations again for putting together, with the help and the collaboration of your other friends from the all regions, like a great job today. Of course, next step for us, we're very excited. Next month, hopefully, we'll have the report. 200 cities, 40 countries. So hopefully, we can again work together and demonstrate the value of collaborating.
Great, thank you. Very much look forward to working with you. I think the importance of what you're doing is that global dimension as well, learning from around the world, being open to learning from the world, and that's where we all grow together. Thank you.
Parfait, merci beaucoup, Stephen. Take care.
Merci.